about the mercy and your love and your grace. I thank you, Lord, that you brought me to this place where I can praise you every day of my life. You brought me through the stress, you brought me through the strife. I'm climbing high, get on the mountain for you. Cause Lord, I love you for everything that you do, for who you are to me, my Savior and my Lord. Lord, you are really, you are awesome indeed, great and mighty. You are awesome indeed, full of love and mercy. Awesome.
My God is an awesome God. He helps me through the rain and the fog, especially when life gets hard. He holds my hand, walk me through the dark. God is great. Can I get a witness? Specialize in loving and forgiveness, in poverty, stress and sickness. He on time, never late to handle business.
Awesome indeed, great and mighty. You are awesome indeed, full of love and mercy.
Yeah.
Awesome.
No matter what you're going through, pray it up, he helping you. Jesus on the main line, call him up like what it do. Read through the Bible, find out that everything is true.
Yeah, awesome indeed. Welcome to the Qumran Report. May the peace and blessings of the life-giving creative spirit be upon you and upon your family. My name is Melvin Ishmael Johnson, coming at you live from Skidrow Studios. And I'm in the studio with my co-host, Earlene Anthony. Our call-in number is 800-893-9562. You can listen to us live or download our show and any past show by Googling in skidrow.la and hit Qumran Report. Now, this week on the Qumran Report, we will be talking to some creative voices from the community with Penny Bergman, Lee Beck, Ola Shea Banjo, Young Grimy, Hub Face, and Mr. Stephen Taylor is going to talk to us about reparations. Welcome to the Qumran Report. Now, I would like to start off with Penny and Lee over there. Penny, which is the director of a play that's coming up, and Lee is in the play. It is called The Face in the Lantern, which will be performed this Sunday, March the 9th, 2014, at 6 o'clock at the Secret Rose Theater, 11246 Magnolia Boulevard, North Hollywood, California, 91601. Welcome to the Qumran Report.
Thank you.
Pleasure to be here.
It's a play reading. A new piece.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. Let's start off with Penny. Can you tell our listening audience a little about your extensive background, and then we'll talk a little about the play.
Well, my background is basically in the theater as well as in television, and I worked most of my career on the soap opera called All My Children.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. But of course, that pays the rent, and the theater doesn't. So now, at this point in my life, I'm having the opportunity to go back to my first love, which is the theater.
Mm-hmm.
And the play is based on the most famous Japanese ghost story, which we've adapted to modern day. So it's very cool, and we're having a great time putting it together.
Mm-hmm. Now, can you tell us a little about what's the play about? I saw something about relationship to a Macbeth type story.
The playwright's name is Carol Fisher Sorgenfrey, and she was a professor at UCLA for many years in Asian theater. Mm-hmm. So she found all these parallels between this very famous ghost play from 17th century Japan and the Scottish play, as we call it in the theater. Mm-hmm. And so we fashioned a play which takes place around the time of the tsunami in Japan, and the ghost comes back, and there's an evil or an ambitious husband, and So it echoes both plays, and it's kind of a mashup. It's great fun.
Now, how did you get involved with Japanese theater?
When I was 16, I was an exchange student in Japan, and one of the cousins of the family took me to a kabuki theater, and this beautiful vision of a geisha came down right near me from the back towards the stage, and I was totally hooked. I said, this is just gorgeous.
At 6 years old?
16.
16?
Yeah, so that started my strange passion then.
Do you speak the language too?
A little bit, yeah.
Now, is there a difference between Japanese theater and from traditional American theater?
Much different, yeah.
Can you talk about some of the differences that you think?
Well, the Japanese theater is a lot more from the outside. So they say it's very presentational versus American theater is more, if you think of the great theater artists that we know, like Brando or De Niro, who are much more subtle and much more film-oriented. But in the theater, it's much more grander in the traditional Japanese theater. But of course, there were no microphones then. So I'm sure you've seen all the pictures of the big makeup and the big costumes, and that was to reach far, far back so that everybody could see, so they'd get their money's worth in the telling of the story.
Now, how about a young people's theater in Japan? Is there a young people's theater?
Yeah, there's
similar to.
There's a very active children's theater, and but of course they're trying to make the theater relevant to the kids now. So they'll take famous folk tales and put them into modern day dress, or somehow tell them in a really cool way. And the whole anime tradition that the kids are into, the Japanese cartoons, that's also another way of telling traditional style stories.
How did you first get involved? We're going to talk to Lee in a minute about the Public Works improvisational theater. How did you first get involved with Public Works?
Well, I had moved to Los Angeles, and I saw a performance of Public Works, and they blew my mind. This was in the early 70s, and I desperately wanted to learn what they were doing and how they were doing it. So I prostrated myself at their feet and said, I'll do whatever you want. I'll take whatever classes you have. And eventually I learned all about improvisation and how cool it is to do. And eventually Lee came down to Public Works, and we all started performing together, and it was glorious.
Lee, can you talk about that experience a little back?
Well, when I came, Penny was here, as I recall, and she was in a class that my wife, eventually my wife, but the teacher was teaching, Marlene Rasnick, who was one of the founders of Public Works. And so we did just a lot of improvs, and the company had a regular weekly show on Friday nights at the church in Ocean Park in Santa Monica, in Ocean Park. And so that's kind of where Penny and I connected, and we've been pals and friends for years, and I'm really glad to have her here. She lives in New York, so when I go to New York, I get to see her, and when she comes here, Marlene and I went to Hawaii one time when she was doing a play there, and she wanted to, you wanted to be in it, right?
I was in it, yeah.
You wanted to be in it, so she wanted us to come and direct it. So we did, and we had a great time there for a month, and just it was fantastic. And we did a nice little piece about tourism, and but I wanted a little more political bite to it, so I got this guy named Kwaipuna Prejean to join us, who was an activist in the Back to Hawaii movement that was going on, to give the islands back to the people. And he had, what was the name of that island where they used for target practice?
Mokulele?
Something like that. Yeah, Mokulele. Anyway, he had the U.S. Navy had been bombarding this island since World War II. So there were all kinds of armaments on it and stuff. And so Kwaipuna was one of two little boats that went over to the island and claimed it for Hawaii. And this caused quite a stir. And eventually it was won back from the government, and they took all the all the weaponry that had been embedded in it, all the shells and all that stuff out of it. Because it had been kind of a sacred place in Hawaiian lore. It was the place where they taught the sailors, the Hawaiian sailors, to navigate the seas. Because from the highest mountain there, you could see the channels, in the ocean. There are channels that you can get on and ride to the other side of the world.
Okay.
Like a river.
Let me go back, Penny. Let me ask you this. What do you think the major difference in working, for you, for working in the theater and working in television?
Television is much more high pressure, much more high pressure. And at least on a soap opera, we did 100 pages a day, which is a lot of material to put down, to put on tape and then edit and have out to the public in a daily show. In the theater, normally you get a chance to rehearse a lot more, get into the characters a lot more, explore more. So it's more of an artistic pursuit, and you have a little bit more time to put it together. But TV is very, very fast. So as a television professional, you have to think fast, move fast, and do your job really quickly.
And well.
Let me ask you this about, since you work in soaps, and I always wondered this about soap, because when I was coming up, maybe it changed now, but why do you think so many females love soap
operas?
Fantasy. Fantasy. Hunky men, beautiful clothes, fabulous hair, fabulous makeup. It was fantasy. So whether you were high up on the economic scale or not as high up on the economic scale, by watching these shows, you had a fantasy life that you would live through another character or another set of characters.
Living vicarious.
That's it. That's it.
Now, what is your approach to this particular play in terms of putting it together? Because I was pulled up on some of the actors. There's some outstanding actors that you guys got reading. Yes,
I have a wonderful cast. Some local actors that I haven't met yet, who Emily Kuroda and Tracy Kato Koriyama, and some actors I've worked with in All My Children, James Patrick Stewart and Terry Ivins. The director, John Lindstrom, and I'm probably forgetting somebody. I'm meeting another young lady for the first time who's playing the lead, Laura Kai Chen. And Lee is playing the badass detective.
Yeah, let's go ahead.
He started out as a good guy, and I asked the playwright, no,
Lee's playing this part.
Do you try to get a rehearsal in on the same day? Or
we're gonna blast it. We're gonna come in and read it amongst ourselves, and then I'm gonna break the group into smaller groups so that scenes that are a little bit more thorny, we'll have a little extra time, and then take a dinner break. The audience comes in, we read it, and the purpose of the reading, which is probably unlike most television programs, the purpose of our reading is to get feedback from the audience on what worked, what didn't work, where they got lost, what they thought was really, really cool, what they thought about the characters. So the purpose of this play reading is feedback from the audience. It's not to raise money, it's not to make money, which we eventually hope we'll do. And the money that we do earn, we're hoping to possibly donate to the Japanese fund for the victims of the tsunami and the earthquake.
Are you going to use music stands or just very casual?
It's going to be pretty casual.
No blocking, nothing like that?
A little bit of blocking, but it's going to be very casual. And, of course, as a director, I can't wait until I move into the next stage, which is more blocking, live music, costumes, lights, and all of that. But first we want to make sure the script is really solid.
Yeah, and you're planning on producing it out here or in New York?
Wherever we can do it.
Maybe both.
Maybe both.
So if you want to be a critic, come on out and see this show.
Yeah. I'm going to try to make it Sunday. I'm looking forward to it.
You can RSVP. We're going to have a guest list, so you can RSVP on Public Works Facebook page.
Publicworksimprov.com.
Thank you. And you click
Or
on
Facebook page.
Yeah, and you click on events, and that's how you get in.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to come back because I got some more questions I want to get back into a round table because I want to talk about how do we get theater and the arts out to our young people and out to our seniors. Yeah, so we'll come back. Thank you, Penny Berman. Lee Beck. Okay, let's move on to our community calendar, and then I'm going to move over to some of our other groups over here, and we'll be back around.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
This is the community calendar for the month of March. The Roby Theater Company is celebrating 20 years of excellence in Black theater from 1994 to 2014 and continuing the series Community as History Detective, Finding Our Place, uncovering history using historical markers such as El Pueblo and Biddy Mason and many others. No prior experience in writing is required. To successfully complete this workshop, all you need is a willingness to follow your creative spirit. Roby's artistic in resident, Levy Lee Simon, will determine how the stories will be used in the final play being developed about Central Avenue and the Dunbar Hotel. Light refreshments will be provided. Workshops are free. The date of the workshop is Tuesday, March the 6th, 2014, from 1:30 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. And the location is the Clayton Library and Museum, 4130 Overland Boulevard, Culver City. For more information, you can call Judith Bowman at 626-486-2460 or email goToRoby@gmail.com. Saturday, March the 8th at 11 a.m., Skidrow 3-on-3 Street Ball League present an open house. And this will give you a chance if you want to join a team or just learn about the rules of the 3-on-3 street ball. There will be live entertainment, food, prizes, and much more. The location is Gladys Park, 802 East 6th Street. For more information, you can contact Ron, RON.Crockett, CROCKETT, at yahoo.com. We're asking you to save the date, Tuesday, March the 25th, 7 p.m. Drama Stage Qumran Veterans Community Theater Company present the documentary Wattstack of the 1972 festival. The all-day concert was part of the Watt Summer Festival, which was emceed by, at that time, a young Jesse Jackson, featuring Richard Pryor, staple singers, Isaac Hayes, theme from Shaft, and many more. This is a fundraising event. You're asked to come out with your afro, your bell bottoms, your platform shoes, and laugh, sing, dance, shout, and just come out and network. Suggested donation is $5. The location is the Vortex, 2341 East Olympic Boulevard. For more information, you can contact Drama Stage 1 at yahoo.com or call 213-479-1764. Upcoming guests on the Qumran Report, Monday, March the 10th, will be Pastor Thompson, and he's the author of the book, Victory Over the Mind. If you have a community event that you would like announced on our show, send the information to Drama Stage 1 at yahoo.com. Attention, Earlene Anthony. And the call-in number for the show is 800-893-9562. Now, back to our host.
Hey, thank you, Miss Earlene Anthony. Now, I'm delighted to have with us in the studio, Ola Shea Banjo. And also out with him is Young Grimy and Hub Face.
Yeah.
We're going to play a song, and then we're going to talk a little about that song, Elsewhere.
Elsewhere is actually...
She's gonna play it.
Oh, she gonna play it? Oh, okay.
He's ready to talk.
Go in.
It's for everybody who's searching for love. You ain't got to search. You're searching here, you're searching there. While you're looking out
Okay, Elsewhere. Now, Olashay, let's talk about that song. How did this song come about? And, what's the meaning of it?
This song actually came about because I was actually about to get into a relationship with a young lady, and she was just really seriously not
that lady.
Yeah, she wasn't. She wasn't. And I was like, "Why you always looking somewhere else?" And I'm like, "Why you always looking elsewhere?" Then all of a sudden, the words. I went to the studio with my boy Rock, Rhyme Over Crime, and I had the beat, and the words just came out. It just came out, and it was perfect, and it was right. And it said everything that I wanted to say at that particular time.
Okay, let's talk to the other members of the group that you brought out, Young Grimy and Hub Face.
Yeah, how you doing?
Brothers too. I just found out that they're brothers.
Yeah.
Can you
Love
talk?
brothers.
Yeah, talk a little how you got off into singing, music, and writing, and all of that.
Well, I learned how to rap, just watching my older brother, sitting right on side of me, growing up watching him rap, So, he just felt the music, started off freestyling, and next thing you know, you're writing the tracks, jumping in the studio booth.
Yeah, I've been creating since about 98, started in a couple groups, and now I'm working on my solo thing. We pretty much got our own label together, got our own studio, and that's how we pretty much came together with O'Shea. But started for me back in the days, and right now I just started with my solo thing, and yeah.
Okay. Now, then can you tell us about the name? Your name and your name that you use.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm Young Grimy. I just live, I'm from Compton, so it's a grimy place, you know what I'm saying? And I love my city, so I just really want to represent my city and know that I'm grimy, but it ain't as bad as it look. You know what I'm saying? So
I don't get it wrong. I love Compton, man. From Compton, love it every day. There's a lot of love out there. It's just a lot of things going on. But her face, I got face because of my facial expressions, you feel me? First I was called Two-Face, and then tried to use that name that was already taken, who would have thought? But, so, I'm from Compton, you feel me? I already was stuck with the name Face, so I just threw the hub, If anybody from Compton, they know what the hub is, If they from Watts, they know what the hub is, the hub and the dub.
Now, how would you classify the type of music that you do?
Worldly. See, we talk about things that we go through, it's the negative with the positive. We try to focus on the positive, but you can't focus on the positive without letting everybody know the negatives.
Yeah, because I got a Black Power album, it's really going towards the youth, and I got a gospel album. So I got hip-hop, regular hip-hop, so I try to branch out. I don't want to stick to one genre, one type of thing, because I feel like God blessed me to, tackle anything that that the world, like you say, worldly.
How would you classify the piece that we just heard? Is that gospel, contemporary gospel, fit into rap?
I would classify it as like it's all about life, because the music that I create, especially with the song that we did, it's about things that that people can relate to. All people can relate to.
I wasn't on the song, but what I got from the song is just something that everybody went through or are going to go through. It's just that love. You feel me? Sometimes you think you got it. Sometimes you find out it ain't that. Sometimes you got to do your research deeper into it to figure out if that person is really for you.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you this, Olashay. Yes. What exactly? What is gospel?
Gospel to me is good news, telling about all the things, about Jesus, about God, and about the good news, but also gospel to me is things that I go through.
Is it have they added a rap element to gospel?
Yes, they have.
Or is it the other way around? Did rap get a lot from gospel because gospel is
I think
an old
they go hand in
music,
hand,
black spirituals.
hand in hand. Because spirituals, like you said, spirituals have been around for a long time, and gospel's been around for a long time. And like back in the day, they used like songs to like give messages to people. Like back in the slavery days, yeah. Just like rap gives messages to people. And then I especially give a shout out to Lecrae, one of my favorite rappers, because he's a Christian rapper, gospel rapper, and his music is not just about Jesus, 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 Jesus. It's about what's going on in the world and how we as young people relate to, the world.
Do you think that's, we lost a lot of people turned away from these three major religions because I guess with the internet, they got so much information about them now. Do you see this particular type of music, the rappers being able to reconnect with the younger generation?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, like when I first started, really got me listening to gospel when I at the younger age was Kurt Franklin when he came out with Reason Why We Sing and Stomp and all that stuff, because it was like something that I could relate to at that time. It was like hip hop. It wasn't just glory, glory, hallelujah. It was like in your face, happy music. You're like, he made it cool to be Christian.
Okay. Yeah. Let's hear another song. Let's hear the next one, and then we'll talk about it for a minute, and then we're going to talk about this reparation thing.
Hey, y'all. This song is for everybody. It's a walking miracle. You've been through something and you survived. You up and you alive. You what you call a walking miracle. I'm a walking miracle. Blessed by God to see today. All the things that I've been through have made me who I am today. I'm a walking miracle. Wish I had time to tell. Not enough time. About all the things you've done. Oh yes, Lord. For me. All the things you've done. When I thought I was down and out, Lord, you kept me round about. To tell everyone of you. I'm telling everybody about you. You've been with me, Lord. You amaze me, Lord. You just amaze me. Even when I was down from the count, you stepped in, Lord. You showed me that I'm a walking miracle. I'm a walking miracle. Blessed by God to see today. All the things that I've been through have made me who I am today. I'm a walking miracle.
Lord, kindly, show press in the sand. Just prove we walk beside me, most highly.
Okay, walking miracle. What are some of the plans of the group? What can you talk about what you guys got coming up?
I plan on doing some more shows with y'all at the Vortex, Yeah. Hopefully get out and do some more shows and, you can find it on Facebook, SoundCloud soon.
Very soon. As a matter of fact, this is actually the first single from my album, Two is Better Than One. It's a long title, Two is Better Than One, the duets album. Two's time, this will be out June 3rd. And I was like, man, we went to the studio. I was like, my mother had like, because I don't know what happened. She gave me the title, Walking Miracle. And all of a sudden, Grimy played the beat. I said, you know what? This is the title of the song. And all of a sudden the words came together. We just meshed together. And it's crazy because I haven't seen these brothers. And we worked together back in like 2000, 3 or 4 years. And then all of a sudden, Grimy hit me up and talking about, let's do a song together. I said, okay, cool. And the next thing you know, we're at his place, and it just came together. It's mad. Every time we come together, I call them my musical brothers. Every time we come together, it's like we just vibe off each other.
Okay.
And I also got 2 shows coming up this week. I got one at the Brewdog. It's with Anye, the Sunset Wednesdays, you know, in Beverly Hills. And then I got one also on Friday at the Pasadena Terrace. The promoter's Rick Hard.
Can you give us the address? What's the address? You got the address or two?
Come back later in the show. I'll get the address for you.
Okay. All right, then. We're going to come back around for some closing, some more comments and contact information. At this time, I want to move over to Mr. Stephen Taylor and talk a little about his organization and representation. Stephen, welcome to the Coon Round Report.
Well, thank you for having me.
Now, before we get into our discussion about reparations, can you tell our listening audience a little about yourself and about your organization?
Sure. Well, to begin, when we start off anything that we do, we begin by saying reparations in memory of our ancestors. So we have to make sure that we do honor our ancestors for all the hard work that America did to them as slaves. Mm-hmm. So I got involved with reparations through Mr. Peoples, Miss Molly Bell, Big Money Griff, and a number of other individuals that were involved with the reparations movement. And, you know, what I tell people all the time about reparations is if slavery was immoral, we can all agree that slavery was immoral. Reparations is morally right. It's the right thing to do. I mean, we take the argument away. This is one of the things that we haven't done with reparations. We haven't done a great marketing job on selling reparations, not only to you, but to all of us as a whole, because we're not asking for nothing. We're not asking for nothing. What we do is America owes this to us because of slavery. You know what we can all relate to the Holocaust, and the Jews got paid for the Holocaust. They got compensated for it, but the Holocaust never happened in America. It was a European problem, and the United States helped pay the bill. Slavery happened right here. We have to keep that in mind. Slavery happened here, and there's not one black person who's got compensated for slavery.
Okay. Let me also ask you this. Can you, before, I want to play a clip from Dr. Claude Anderson in a minute, but can you tell us about this event coming up?
Yeah, we have an event. It's our second annual A Day of Demand, National Reparations Day. That's going to be held this Thursday, March 6th, from 11 to 5 at Tragnew Park in the city of Compton. It's located at 839 South Central Avenue, right on the corner of Alondra and Central. And it's a free event. We offer a number of things for all our vendors can come out free, groups, organizations, speakers. And the good thing about it, it's free. We don't ask anybody to come up with anything.
Yeah, I'm from Compton. We love free.
And and we still have room for more entertainers if you guys want to show up.
Oh yeah. So, put me down.
Yeah, just let me know. Just show up, and because it's going to be the stuff is really going to start around 12 o'clock. 11 o'clock we'll introduce the vendors. See, it's not only about reparations, but it's about us telling people about black businesses, black groups, black organizations, because it all ties into reparations. So and then we give you young people an opportunity to perform, because we have a stage. We give you guys an opportunity to perform, to show your talents and stuff like that. And like I said, everything is free. The city's waived all the fees, so it gives us the opportunity to offer this thing to everybody free of charge. And what we did last year, we did a reenactment of young people getting captured in Africa and brought over to America. So it was a real great program that had exceeded past 5 o'clock, but we'll cut it off at 5 this year.
Okay, let's play a clip by Dr. Claude Anderson, who talk about reparations all the time.
The issue is not social integration, it's economic integration. But again, nobody listened. The black leadership didn't listen then. The black civil rights leaders didn't listen then. They continued to pursue a trail of social integration. And social integration meant that I am willing to give up everything I got to sit in somebody else's restaurant, to go to somebody else's school, to live in somebody else's community, to work with somebody else's business, to be next to them. I'll give up You're going to become a deprived, poverty-stricken people if you do it. Because you see, social integration is going to strip you. It's going to strip you of your businesses. It's going to strip you of your communities. It's going to strip you of your schools. It's going to strip you of your music. It's going to strip you of your sports teams, your basketball teams, and football teams. It's going to strip you of your culture, your heritage. It's going to strip you of your uniqueness as slaves and Jim Crow segregation statuses that you had, where you can demand reparations and demand justification. You're going to strip.
Okay, that's Dr. Claude Anderson talking a little about reparation. Let me ask you this: How would reparations? How would that be implemented?
What we have is the implementation of reparation basically has to come through our Congress people, our senators, our legislators, and so they have to actually come up with a bill. So what we've done is we have a survey that we produced, and out of this survey, we're asking you, what do you want for reparations? Instead of 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 Congress people sitting in a room deciding on, this is what I want for reparations. Now we're asking the people what they actually want for reparations. So out of this survey, we're going to tally it up, we're going to look at it, and then we're going to have a group of lawyers to come up to write a reparations bill. So we're going to take it out of the hands of our politicians, because basically I shouldn't even be here tonight. This is a politician's job. This isn't my job. This isn't my job to come out and talk about reparations. We elect our officials, just like the Republicans elected the Tea Party. I mean, they're steadfast on cutting taxes. And we should be steadfast on reparations, because we can build our black businesses. We can hire our black folks. I mean, if you look at our major problems in this country, I'm a firm believer that our problems stem from slavery, and we have to attack slavery. We have to attack what happened to us in slavery.
Well, let me ask you this then. Why do you think the descendants of the slaves of Americans, the African American, never received any kind of reparations when groups like Native Americans, Japanese Americans, Jewish Americans, et cetera, like that received?
Well, that's probably a great question, but you also have to understand that we have a cancer in America, and that cancer is called racism. And if we can not lick that cancer, we're going to be in the same boat from years and years from now. We can't eliminate racism. Well, I don't know if we could ever control it, but the government has always been a friend to the black man. He's always been a friend to the ex-slave or descendants of black African slaves, because he's passed legislation to protect us. And that's why it's so important not to let the states take over and control each individual state. The federal government has always been a friend to us. And if you look throughout history, it'll tell you. They passed the Civil Rights Movement bill. They've passed the Voting Rights Act. So, I mean, they've done things to help us along the way, while the states have, if you look at the states today, they're taking away the Voting Rights Act. So you have to look at some of these things that they're doing. All the things that you've gained can be taken away just as quick as if we allow the states to do that.
Okay, let me ask you this then. Do you think that our African American leaders took us down the wrong path by seeking social integration instead of building a separate economy by practicing group economics like all of the other groups do? Well, we're probably the only someone that don't practice group economics.
Yeah, but it comes with maturity. I guess one of the things that we're faced with is we have always been a spiritual and a Christian people. So when Dr. Claude Anderson talks about the socialization integration, he I guess he doesn't mention that the people, the groups that control our economic base are the Christians, the black church. The black church has a big economic base in this country, and they have a big voting power. Because all you have to do is just look at where does the politicians go when they come to town? They come to the black church. So that's one of the things that we're hitting up too. We're hitting up the black church so we can be right there with them. But Claude Anderson is right. We do need an economic base, because the dumbest person could be the richest person, but you'll follow him forever. And that just because he has money, just because he has money, you think that he has something that we don't have, and which he does.
Okay, look, let's play another little 1-minute clip by Dr. Anderson. I want to talk to you about that.
today. How do we go about not only trying to hold them accountable, but using the best opportunities that black folk have ever had to get some economic justice? And that is going back to the 1866 Indian Treaty, which spells out very specifically that black freedmen and black free people in general and black Indians were entitled to be treated just as American Indians, to be put into a protected class and be given all the benefits and privileges that American Indians have been receiving for the last 140 years. And yet, I have tried desperately to get the attention of black leaders from the highest to the lowest, and to this day, I've only found one black in Congress out of 43 that even spent a minute's time trying to find out what are those opportunities for black folks to get economic justice under the 1866 treaties. And when this door closes and this treaty is passed over and the white Indians continue to get benefits, black people someplace in the future must look in the eyes of their children and the black masses across this country and say, I am guilty of having abandoned my people and placed them in an untenable position from which they cannot recover.
Mm-hmm. And by the way, the only congressman was Maxine Waters that they could talk about in relationship to. Yeah, would you like to comment on that? And then I got one more question I want to ask you about reparations.
Okay, well, this 1866 treaty, Mr. Claude Anderson has been fighting that in the courts for years. That, along with all the other organizations that we need to come on board, because when the Jews got reparations, when the Indians got reparations, when the Japanese got reparations, when they rebuilt Europe, how many black people you knew wrote letters to the government and said, don't make this happen? So we need to stretch out, and we need to reach out to those organizations and say, look, we weren't against you getting reparations, so help us get reparations. We need to reach to the Japanese and say, hey, help us get reparations, along with the 1866 treaty. I mean, we have to reach out to all of us, because, you know, the thing about this, we're all in this thing together. And reparations is not a handout. It is not a handout. You have to keep that in mind. It will never, ever bankrupt this country. It will never, ever bankrupt this country. Never. So don't let people tell you that it will, because it won't. Mm-hmm. Reparations is not a check. Let me just tell you what reparations means. Mm-hmm. Reparations means to repair. And what does repair mean? Whatever it takes to make you whole. So you might want you might want a check. You might want to have a free education for your child for the rest of your life. You might not want to pay taxes. You see what I mean? You might want land. So reparations is not just one thing. It's a combination of us being compensated for slavery.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Stephen, beautiful. We could come back around for some closing comments. I kind of want to open it up on the floor now. I want to talk about how do we get our young people more involved with the arts, theater, music, after-school programs and all that kind of stuff. I'm interested. Would you like to start off with that, Andy?
Well, first is the availability of the programs for the kids. If the programs are not in places for the kids to go to, whether it's music, art, drama, dance, then the opportunities are way limited, and so that's either through religious groups or ideally through the public schools, and keeping funding for the arts in schools is crucial to get the kid to give the kids the opportunity to first take the classes. And even with people who are in the arts are not in it for the money. Mm-hmm. We're in it for the passion, and to spread that kind of creative juice to everyone. But you need a venue to be in, and you need an organization. So for any kids in any communities, it's crucial that money for arts and education is available.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you this question. Since you're talking a little about Japanese theater, and we know that the Japanese were, in turn, they went through that over that. They got reparations, I think, $20,000 or $30,000 each, and then they were able to practice this group economics thing. So where today, especially in the city of Los Angeles, they're very strong from an economic and a cultural point of view. What do you think made that possible? You think it had a lot to do with the culture background?
I think it's probably great lawyering.
Great lawyering. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Good answer.
I think it's probably great lawyering and a lot of passionate effort on the part of people to keep pushing forward and keep your foot in the door, saying this is what we need, this is what we deserve, this happened to us, this was wrong. This was wrong. And if there's any way we can make it right, we as a nation should try and make it right.
Do you detect any difference when you're experiencing theater and the cultural arts when you're over here among the Japanese Americans in Japanese theater, or when you're in Japan?
Well,
or is there a connection?
Well, there's a connection in the sense of familiarity, but it's just like, my generation, I'm Jewish, so my generation is not very familiar with our 2 generations ago of the Yiddish theater, which were all the immigrants that came over and were passionately involved in the theater. And so I can't really speak to the Japanese community because I'm not essentially a part of that community, but I'm certainly an appreciator. And so why I feel that my mission is to fuse these American theater and Japanese theater, I don't know, other than that seems to be my artistic drive. And I think it's because I think it's the Japanese, the traditional classical tradition is so cool that I want to make it accessible to everybody.
Okay, Lee.
And to do that, she's doing this reading of her play, The Face in the Lantern, written by Carol Fisher Sogrenfrei. Did I say it right?
Pretty close.
And it's being presented Sunday, March the 9th, next Sunday afternoon at 6 o'clock. It is a new play reading followed by refreshments and feedback. There's no charge. And this is going to be presented at the Secret Rose Theater at 11246 Magnolia Boulevard in North Hollywood, 91601. And you can also see, if you didn't get that, you can go to publicworksimprov.com and see a flyer about that coming up.
You play a detective.
I'm going to be a detective. Boy.
Yeah. And an entertainment guru.
There you go.
How long is the play? How many pages?
Right now, I think it's about 75 pages, so it should run an hour and a half.
Looking forward to it.
I'm sure you'll have a good time. Also, I want to invite everybody out to my show Story File, which will be this coming Thursday night at 8 o'clock at Art Share in the Arts District downtown. We do Story File the first Thursday of every month. We have storytellers, poets, and musicians, and it makes for a nice eclectic evening that I think you'll really enjoy. And it's a good fellowship as well. So come on out and join us. And
go ahead.
Okay. And and we'll also be producing Voice in the Well the following Thursday, the 13th of March, at the Warzawa restaurant in Santa Monica on Lincoln Avenue. It's in the attic there, and it's a literary salon, and it always has interesting musicians, poets, and performers there too. So come on out. That's at 7:30 on the 13th, on the second Thursday of every month.
Okay. And let her face the contact information. You was going to get us the address.
Yeah.
And any closing comments you got in it?
The Brewdog Wednesdays, the Sunset Wednesdays, you can catch that at Brewdog Pub, 8300 Wilshire Boulevard, Beverly Hills. And Pasadena Terrace on Saturday, you can catch it 443 East Colorado Boulevard, Pasadena. You know, and I do got a mixtape coming out. It's called, it's already out. You know, y'all can come and get it. Y'all got to get in contact with me to get it right now. I'm trying to get on the bigger issues where I could get it out to more people. But contact me on my websites. You know, you got Hubface 310, at Hubface on Twitter, you know, and it's pretty much Hubface 310 on all the links you can think of. And and you can check for more shows.
Hey, Grimy, closing comments, contact information?
I wanted to say something about starting with the youth. I think that the younger we can get them started in stuff like acting and music and dancing, I think that will help. I don't think that we should start at teens. I think we should start, like my daughter, she's 4, and she dance and she sing and she rap. So I think that we should start, young. I think that'll help, so help us get to the youth a lot better.
Okay.
Yeah, and on the point, I do want to agree with Penny because it's all about having that location that where you can go, because, when I growing up, when I heard somebody was in a special arts school, they was deep in Long Beach or had to go all the way to downtown L.A., and then, growing up in a family like mine, we really getting back and forth to certain situations. Moms was single parents, so, we couldn't always look for her to get us there. So if we had a place close, I'm pretty sure we would have spent a lot of time there, and also with Bro, it's about noticing that talent when they're younger, and then grooming that talent.
Getting them involved.
Because they already like it, then all you got to do is give it to them,
Okay, Olashay. Closing comments, contact.
I agree with them because I actually started my mother and my sister and I started when I was just 1.5 years old. We started in church and she groomed my talent. And because of her, now I'm singing everywhere I go. There you go. And also, I have a show coming up March the 19th at the Silver Lake Lounge, 2906 West Sunset Boulevard, Los Angeles, California. And if you need any information, you can contact me on Facebook or my website, www.olishaybanjo.com. And also look out June 3rd, my album 2 is Better Than 1, the Duets album, Volume 1. 2's time, that's a long title. Everybody. And it features our song. So just guys, look out. And I want to say thank you to Grimy and Hubface, man, because they are the best.
Man, all right. Thank you, too.
One more thing. You can reach me at Grimy Raps, my Yahoo, so Facebook and everything. So if you want to get in touch with me, Grimy Raps at yahoo.com.
Okay.
I forgot one thing.
Steven.
Well, just to give everybody a better understanding of what reparations is, let me just read our brief mission statement. Our mission is to enlist, educate, promote, inspire, and secure reparations for descendants of Black African slaves. We will carry out this mission in unity to enrich a positive attitude toward reparations. We believe access to reparations is a legitimate right to all descendants of Black African slaves, and we will enhance the dignity and quality of life for our future generations. Reparations will repair the wrong for the intentional holocaust of slavery, make us whole, and establish the respect we duly deserve in memory of our ancestors.
Okay. Can you give us quickly your contact information?
You can contact Mr. Peoples, who's our face of reparations. His phone number is area code 310-632-0577. And he's been around in the movement for over 30 years. Actually, he was in show business. He was called the Black Hillbilly at one time, so he was a comedian, well-known comedian.
All right. Okay, I would like to extend a special thanks to Penny Bergman, Lee Beck, Olashay Banjo, and the Grimy.
Grimy.
Yeah, Grimy and
Hubface.
Hubface and Mr. Stephen Taylor. Interesting conversation about reparations. So glad for all of the guests that came out. Please listen. And please listen to past shows of the Coon Round Report on iTunes, Stitcher, Tumblr, Google, and Skidrow.la. Thank you for tuning in to the Coon Round Report. And from your host, Melvin Ishmael Johnson, may the peace and blessings of the life-giving creative spirit be upon you and upon your family. And I leave you with the song, what?
It's called We're Gonna Make It. It features me and my biological sister, my big sister, Olabumi.
Thank you very much.
This song is for everyone who's going through. We're gonna make it, y'all. We're gonna make it one day. We're gonna make it no matter what people say. We're gonna make it. Just keep your head up high. We're gonna make it. Yeah, we're gonna make it, y'all. Life sometimes is discouraging. So many bills are coming at
Never give up.